Good morning. Welcome to practice. We're going to begin laying down and we'll have the long, narrow blanket for underneath the shoulder blade. Oh, what better way to start the practice than tuning into the spine, alleviating a little life's gravity. That makes that part of the spine curve out behind us. We're going to rest the body into this position where the spine gets to be younger again, longer. And bring the soles of the feet together and the knees out into Supta Baddha Konasana. If that feels a little strong at the beginning of your practice, just put your legs back in your parallel leg, hip width feet position. And tune in to the resilience of your spine. Beautiful curves that absorb shock when we walk or run or jump. The graceful nature of those curves behind the neck, between the shoulder blade, the lower back. And let yourself give in to this shape. Finding your breath now. Let the breath have volume. Let it really move the ribs. Breathing in and out through your nose. Good, and then gently bringing in the arms and legs and just roll off to your right side so you can pull the blanket out from underneath. And we're going to lay back flat. And again, just exploring the curves of your spine. We'll have the feet hip width parallel, legs parallel. We're going to roll across the back of the head. So turning your head to the left. Coming back to center and turning the head to the right. And just checking in. There's some tension or tightness in the neck. Maybe it feels good. Take it really gently. And then back to center. Press your lower back into the floor and lift your heels off the floor. So tiptoes are touching. You might find that your toes press into the floor. Just keep a lightness to the toes. Good. So pressing your lower back. And you feel the core of the body engage. Nice. Now we're going to coordinate putting the heels on the floor, back on the floor, taking the arms overhead, lifting the spine away from the floor. And then as you exhale, we come back to that starting position where the heels are lifting and we press the lower back. Try to get all of the skin to connect. Good. And then inhale, arms overhead and rest your feet back on the floor. As you exhale, pressing your lower back, lifting just your heels. A couple more of those. A breath with volume, breath that's satisfied. Good. And then releasing and relax again. Let's roll on the back of the head again. So taking your head to one side, back to center, other side. Make it nice and slow and take any stretch that you feel you might need for your neck. And back to center. Beautiful. This time we're going to take the feet off the floor. So press your lower back against the floor, arms up from the shoulders. And we'll do our limbs out from center. Now, surprisingly, you don't have to go that far to really feel the benefit of the core work. You don't have to go all the way out to near the floor. And let's go. So left leg, right arm, right leg, left arm. Good. And keep going from side to side. So rather than do really big movements, do small movements and try to keep your lower back really pressing and try to keep breathing. I haven't been doing many of these kinds of movements. It's feeling pretty difficult, but I'm going to try and keep breathing and neck and throat calm. And release. Feet back parallel, legs parallel. Just relax for arms down the side. And let's do the neck again. So take the stretch you need as you turn your head from side to side. Find that deep breath that has volume, that feels satisfying. And back to center. We're going to bring the heels in closer now. And as you inhale, we're going to tip the tailbone up to the ceiling and lift the spine off the floor. Lengthen your neck as you do that. And then lowering down. Try to keep your legs parallel. Spine up and down. Keep the neck long and watch for any tendency to grip the shoulders to the neck. And last one. Nice work. We're going to come into an all fours position. So rolling over to the side. Big spaces between your fingers, the biggest you can manage, and even spaces, and press your fingerprint. Good. We're going to take circles around the wrists. To the shoulders, moving around the wrists. Elbows a little bit bent. Imagine you're always pressing that skin and muscle just above the elbows out. Other direction. Mm. Nice work. Now we're going to move the knees back so we're in a more modified plank. And to do that, bring your hips in line with your shoulders and your knees. And then try moving around the wrists again without lifting the hips. Trying to make little, they'll only be tiny little circles. There's not much room to move. But you can feel the work of the core here and back in the other direction. Pressing your fingerprints. Keep the neck nice and long. Keep the shoulder blades back. Nice work. Lay your torso down onto the floor, tummy onto the floor. Hands stay under the shoulders and we'll rest the forehead for a moment. Stretching out through the toes. Lift the breastbone, lift the head and look forward and try to press your elbows down towards the floor. So lengthening your upper arm. Good. And then we're going to lengthen the torso to lay down and touch your forehead to the floor. Good. And then again, lifting more using your back core, not so much your hands. Your hands really are just resting there. But we're going to stretch the elbows back and just noticing where you can lift to using your back power. Good. And then lengthening the front torso. Back onto your forehead. Relax, neck, shoulders. Good. And one more. Lifting, using the back core of the body. Even lift the buttock muscles up towards the back waist. Beautiful. And laying back down. Good. We're going to lift up into that half plank position again. Straight arms. So we've got the knees on the floor. And just try to make little circles of your shoulders around the wrists. They're tiny little movements, but you can feel the core of the body working. And then back in the other direction. Keep lifting the front core, the tummy. Nice work. And then child. Make room for your tummy, your chest. And here the sit bones are going to reach to the heels where it's comfortable for your knees. So it might be that you have to have your hips higher. And that might feel better to rest your hands under your forehead. Letting the breath have volume. Feels satisfying. Reach your arms out in front now and keep your hips back as far as your knees will allow. But really reaching right ribs and then left ribs and right ribs and left ribs. Draw the shoulder blades back and enjoying each breath. And on all fours now, tuck the toes under, downward facing dog pose. And we're going to keep the knees bent and the heels up, but let's, with the breath, as you exhale, bring the chest towards the front of the legs. Let the head just hang down. Try to really let your neck lengthen. Good. As you inhale, back off from the stretch a little bit, so shoulders come forward a little bit. And exhaling, chest towards the front of the legs. Really lengthen the neck, feel the shoulders broaden. Inhale, relax that stretch a little. And exhale. And inhale and relax. And one more exhale. Chest towards the front of the legs, head really just hanging down, and shoulders as wide as you can. Now we're going to hold that. Feel that your hands, your fingers are stretched out wide, and you're pressing your fingerprints, the base of the index fingers. And we're going to walk one heel down to the floor, and then bend that leg and walk the other heel down to the floor. So we're going to keep the stretch in the upper body, but start to explore stretching the legs one at a time. And feel that the breath has volume and that you're able to keep your neck really relaxed here. Beautiful. And then start to walk the feet forward. Just take tiny little steps. Keep trying to pad your heel down towards the floor. So it starts to get awkward as we get a little more restricted here. Just exploring that feeling of awkwardness, but come up when you need to. And then take the arms up. Urdhva Hastasana. Feel that your feet are parallel, hip width. Looking up. Beautiful. And Tadasana. Upper arms turning out, palms in. Let yourself take up some vertical space. We're going to try and keep the shoulder blades down. Remember, at the beginning of the practice, the feeling of the blanket under your shoulder blade. Bring the shoulder blades forward. And then we're going to turn the head like we did on the floor. Turning to look over your left side and over your right side. And give your neck any stretch that it feels like it needs. We want to feel like we've made space with the position of the shoulders and the shoulder blades so that the neck can turn with ease. Last one. I want to keep doing them. Beautiful. And back to the center. And feel the balance of your head. Even shake a little or wobble a little from side to side. Feel your skull balance and neck. Okay. We're going to take the arms out and behind and hold. Forearms, elbows, or upper arms. Or prayer position if that's a comfortable enough position for you. Beautiful. Now what that arm bind does is bring the bones of the spine forward. So we're going to keep that feeling in the back, but come into Uttanasana, standing forward bend with the arm bind. So hopefully what we've got happening in the back is the bones of the spine embedding forward into the front body. So that what is evident, if you were to feel around, you've got your arms bound up, are the muscle either side of the spine. Rather than the bones sticking up, we've got the muscle evident. Good. Take some breath here with volume, with satisfaction. Feeling that you're looking after your spine, that you're tuned into its healthy lengthening. Good. And then bend your knees and rolling on up. Beautiful. Take your arms back into your Tadasana position, upper arms out. Okay. Let's try doing that without the arm bind, but resist the temptation to make the bones of the spine pop out. In fact, if you feel around behind you now, see how they're, especially in your lower middle back, they're embedded forward. So what you can feel is the muscle either side of the spine. That beautiful strong muscle. All right, we're going to try and keep the bones of the spine forward. Maybe let's put the hands just at the hips, the front of the hips. So reminding ourselves where we hinge forward from. And see if you can keep the bones of the spine really reaching into the front of the torso. Nice. So when you reach as far as you can, feel around and see how you went. We're trying to avoid the stegosaurus back, where you feel each of the vertebrae popping up towards the ceiling. Nice. And then put your hands where it makes sense to support you, on your legs or the floor. We've got parallel feet, parallel legs. Have your legs as bent as you need to really explore this easeful spine. And then start to lengthen the spine. So I'm going to walk my hands a little bit further out. If you're not reaching the floor, just stay where you are, but keep lengthening the spine. Drawing the shoulder blades back. Good. And then you might try straightening your leg one at a time. And then maybe even both legs together. Lifting the kneecaps, quadriceps. Nice work. And rolling up. And arms up. Urdhva Hastasana. Tadasana. Good. And one more stretch for the neck. We'll look to one side. And back to center and the other side. Stretching where you need. We used to need to keep this movement for reverse parking. But now there's reversing mirrors. Never need to look behind you again. Back to center. All right. We're going to take the feet out a little bit wider than, say, your mat is wide. And turn your toes out. A little bit of work for the knees in an exploring way. So you're just bending a little bit one side and then the other side. And it should feel like your toes are at an angle so that when your knees bend, it feels nice and safe, like the knee and the toe are going in the same direction, side to side. All right, so we start off with this smaller stance and check in. And that might be enough for your knees, depending on if you've had an injury or you're nursing a recovery in your knees. All right, or you can go out a little bit wider and do that. But again, put your toes out. So when your knee bends, it looks like your femur, thigh bone, and your toes go in the same direction. Nice. From side to side. Try to keep the hips as low as your knees allow. You can go even wider if you like. But I'm trying to keep the torso upright. Lift the pelvic floor. Internal muscular support. Lift the belly. And stretch your toes out nice and wide. Nice work. And releasing. Now, we're going to wiggle the feet in. You can jump in, wiggle in. Back to, let's try hip width. And what we're going to do now is just let the body weight move from side to side, picking up one foot and then the other. But what I want you to concentrate on is balancing on the standing leg. So don't put the other foot down and fall back into position. Put the other foot down, completely standing on your standing leg. So it's like you're feeling out for the ground. So not falling from side to side. balance. Good. And you might notice I'm stepping a little bit further each time from hip width, so reaching out. Shifting balance, finding balance. Alrighty. And then come back in. So do the same thing, but just, whoa, I missed that one. Bring your legs in closer each time until you're back to hip width. There's quite a different way of walking, and you can try it on uneven ground when you're outside. At the beach is really nice on rock. You can do it forward, back, round, in a circle. Let's take the arms up, Urdhva Hastasana. And we'll put it all together. Nice warmed up hip, the bones of the spine forward, legs stretching. Come into your forward bend. Okay, so really take care of your back. Don't over stretch forward because you think that you need to reach somewhere particular. You can always put your hands up on your leg. We do want to keep those bones embedding forward. Beautiful. If your hands do reach the floor, walk them out in front as far as they'll go and bring your ears by your arms. Otherwise, your hands are on your legs and you're reaching the top of the head forward and the shoulder blades back. Letting the breath have volume. Feeling satisfied in your body with the breath. And this amazing movement, the ability to bend forward. Play around with the stretch that your legs need. Keep lifting your kneecaps. Good. Now, walk your hands back in, and I'm going to play around with sitting from here. But if you need to just lift yourself up and then find your way to the floor safely, do that. Otherwise, wiggle your toes and your feet out a little bit. The toes are pointing out. So as we start to bend the knees and we're coming into a squat with the heels staying on the floor. So you squat down as far as you can with the heels staying on the floor. Beautiful. Lift the pelvic floor. Good. And then stand all the way up. And then you can try sitting down without using your hands. So take your time. Figure out what's going on, what's feeling resistant, whether you would fall over. So don't fall over. I surprised myself. Okay. Let's put the blanket under the sit bone. Sit comfortably for your knees. So that might not be cross-legged for you. But the more important part of sitting is how does your spine feel? And we want to get that nice sense of just being balanced. So there's not much energy going into trying to hold yourself up. There's a little bit of support from the front core for the back core. So you feel a sense of support. Great. We're going to do some spinal wave movements. And just forward and back, trying to get a wave movement all the way along the spine. And you make it as big a feeling as your body needs. They can be really subtle, really small movements. Focus on the movement becoming rhythmic, flowing. Let your shoulders relax. Almost unbelievably, there's a reverse. To find the reverse flow. I think I keep going back into my original flow. Maybe that happens to you too. To keep trying to do that reversed feeling, that's even more awkward. Oh, beautiful. And back to center. We're going to take a Sukhasana, twist Paraversa, Sukhasana. Right hand somewhere on your left leg to help you turn. Left hand with awareness in the hand. The hand is just softly helpful. And we're going to turn the torso and let yourself take up vertical space. Let's see if we can bring that part of the spine that we started the class with, awareness, so between the shoulder blades. Let's see if we can bring that part of the spine forward. But the mind and body interacting. Let's bring the breath. With each exhalation, notice how the diaphragm moves, and there's room to move the ribs. With each inhalation, find the length again of your spine. And with each exhalation, exploring that potential to move. Ah. Beautiful. And then coming back to the center. And then change the cross of your leg. And second side. Use your left hand to help you somewhere on your right leg. And your right hand with an ease in the way you place the hand. Let's vertically lift, fine. Find your feeling of limit and finding the breath. And realizing that the diaphragm moves, everything moves with the breath. The ribs, the diaphragm, the belly. And so as you exhale, there's in fact room to move the ribs. To tune into that. And back to center. And take a laying down position. Feet are hip width and parallel, legs parallel. We're going to do the spine, hips lifting up and down again. If you bring your heels in a little bit closer, you'll lift higher. If for some reason that hurts your knees, your feet out as far as you. All right, legs stay parallel. We're going to lift the tailbone, lift the pelvic floor, lift the spine. And we want to keep the neck really long here. And we're going to take the arms overhead. Press powerfully into your feet. Really lift your legs and squeeze your buttock muscles. A good chance to strengthen the gluteus muscle. Good, we're going to hold. Relax your neck. Good, and then lowering down. Once you get your spine down, bring your arms down. So I forgot to say that. It's a nice feeling for the rib and the shoulder blade. Oh, great. Let's take the arms overhead again and lifting the tailbone, lifting bone by bone of the spine, keeping the legs parallel, just making sure that your neck is long. Squeeze the buttock muscles, lifting them towards the back waist. It's easy to forget that work. And then keep everything working hard as you lower down. As you lay your spine down, relax your arms back by your side. Great. Bring the arms out now from your shoulders. Let's turn the head again and we'll look from side to side. And stretch where you need to stretch. We've got the arms added into the equation now. You might even feel a strong stretch from your shoulders. Just taking that movement as you need. Good, back to center. We're going to take the left heel onto the right knee and legs are going to go to the right side. So maybe your foot touches down onto the floor. If that's too far a reach, just go to where you can. You can always put a blanket under your foot and your knee for support. All right, so we've got a nice long stretch for the left side and we're going to turn the head to look left as well. Finish off the spiral of the spine. Bring your shoulder blades up under. There's lots of room for the neck. Letting your body just give in to this awkward shape. But nevertheless, the shape that lengthens, opening the left ribs. Bring your core awareness into place and feel the belly and the internal muscular support as you lift your leg. Good. And back to hip width and head back to center. Right heel, left knee. Legs go left as far as you can. You can always put them on a blanket if it's too big a reach. And we're going to turn to look over the right shoulder. letting yourself explore. Or giving in, letting go. And bring your focus thoroughly to the core of the body, belly, the internal muscular support. And coming back to center. Beautiful. Hug your knees into your chest. Rocking a little bit from side to side. If you would like to stay for Savasana, lay your legs out too straight, and that will be another 10 minutes. If you need to finish your practice now. Namaste. Thank you. So, Savasana, people finding your spine long, making those little adjustments to tuck the tailbone up to the ceiling. Make sure your shoulder blades are flat. Keep your neck long. Feeling as symmetrical as you can. Not that we really are symmetrical. Finding your best balance. Let the back of your body express its weight to the floor. Let the front of the body feel easeful with the breath. Find your toes in your awareness. Feel each toe, whether they feel somehow bound to their neighbors or separate. The soles of your feet, arches of your feet, and the tops of your feet. Feel now with your focus, your ankle, and your lower leg, knee, thigh, hips, and belly. Pelvic floor, buttock. Feel now the lower half of your body relax. Bring your focus now to your lower back. The abdomen sideways. Your middle back and side ribs. Between your shoulder blades. Armpit. The front ribs. Between your shoulders. Shoulders. Collarbone. Feel the torso relax. Upper arms, elbows, forearms, wrists, palms, thumbs, fingers. Back of your neck, throat, base of your skull. Forehead, scalp, skin of the temple, in around the eyebrows and between them. Around the eye and the nose, and the mouth, lips, tongue. Tongue presses neither your teeth nor the roof of your mouth. You focus to your jaw and let it relax. Let the ears relax from listening. Then take a break. And feel your whole body in the focus of your awareness. Breath by breath. Feel again the weight of your back body, feeling of being still. And begin to move your body out of stillness. Explore the potential, all that potential energy, fingers, toes, arms, legs, moving towards rolling over to your right side. And when you're ready, come up and have a seat. Bringing your hands in front of your heart. Feeling that the breath has volume and you feel satisfied. Take the feeling of the practice. Namaste.